a thing and not an import. That is why I said that the only way this thing can pose any problem in Ghana is if it already exists in Ghana. And that is why I see this bulletin as information,
right,
and for us to take precautionary measures to ensure that if it exists, we don't allow the bacteria to blossom to become an issue.
And so, apart from commissioning the experts to look into it immediately, are there any other steps we're taking from what you're saying?
Honestly, I cannot think of any other step that we will take apart from the experts doing the review and finding out whether this bacteria exists or has ever existed or has ever caused any problem in Ghana. That is why I'm encouraging you to talk to the experts, the bacteriologists who would definitely know the prevalence of this kind of strain geographically, and to tell Ghanaians that do this, don't do that, and so on. You are talking to a minister who is not
an expert.
An expert. I'm not a pathologist. I'm not a bacteriologist, and so I would just tell you what politically we will do to ensure that we don't have the strain here, and that is we don't import tilapia from Israel. We don't import tilapia from any part of the world, and we have not heard of the outbreak of this disease in Ghana. At least, as at the time I'm speaking, I have not heard of it until they come back to tell me that it has happened before in the past. Then this will be a wake-up call so that we know that if it has happened in the past, then it can happen again. And what are the measures that have to be taken to ensure that it doesn't happen?
The tilapia business seems to be growing in Ghana, especially in the Volta region where a lot of these ponds are found on the Volta Lake. Now, if the bacteria is found in Ghana, would it overwhelm? Well, I have lost the minister on phone. Billy Joe Nayon is the minister. I've just lost him, Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture there. We're talking about a warning from the national security of bacteria, likely bacteria from deadly fresh tilapia bacteria which can be found in Ghana, and if preventive measures are not put in place. Now, this was a letter addressed to the Ministries of Health, Food, Agriculture and Environment from National Security and signed by the National Security Coordinator Larry Bevlo Latte. Now, it says that the poisonous microbe enters the human body through punches. I'm told Honorable Billy Joe is back. Honorable, I was asking that if the bacteria, I was trying to find out if the bacteria is found in Ghana, would it be overwhelming for the Fisheries Ministry to deal with it?
This question you are putting to me will be better answered by an expert. He will be able to tell the prevalence of this kind of bacteria in Ghana, which part of the country it is, what kind of water this bacteria will thrive, and so on and so forth, and therefore can come to the conclusion that it can be dealt with or it cannot be dealt with. If I delve into that, I will just be speaking what I don't know.
Right.
Because I will be speculating, and I do not want to speculate. I believe that aspect, that kind of question is better answered to give full satisfaction to the public by an expert.
Right. Honorable Billy Joe, let's end it here then, but we'll be coming to you for more on this very particular issue. We'll try and pick pieces of information from the expert bacteriologist and those exactly in there. Dr. Kikimoto Bashiru is one such expert. And Dr. Kikimoto, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
Now, the issue of deadly fresh tilapia bacteria, which we are told can be found in Ghana if preventive measures are not put in place. Has it come to your notice?
Right. You know, I wouldn't have answered the question. That is because it looks at the way you post it. It's not exactly how the situation is supposed to be.
Right.
I don't like the way sometimes we do this in this country. National security has alerted Ghanaians about something which has happened far, far, far away, not here, in Israel. How did these confidential documents be put on air like this? If you want to know what is happening, what veterinary public health specialists are doing in controlling animal diseases, including sea animals, fish, and all those, and then we can brief you generally what we are doing and to alert Ghanaians that so far as we are concerned, we are controlling almost all zoonotic diseases that are public health important.
Right.
That is a different matter altogether.
Right. So does it also include, for instance, deadly fresh tilapia bacteria?
No, there's nothing like that in Ghana.
All right. Now, you then tell me, now you're talking about both diseases that are of danger to the public from both fish and meat. Now, which ones particularly are you talking about here?
Well, generally, I have always been telling you that so far as fish or tilapia or any type of that thing is concerned, we have 15 zoonotic diseases. That is diseases that human beings can contract. And I told you, salmonella is one of them. Cedi is one of them. There are lots of them. You see, so if you want to talk about general public health zoonotic diseases or diseases that are zoonotic diseases or public health importance, I can mention about 15 which you can find in fish.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that those diseases are in fish now. But there are certain diseases which are human beings that you can diagnose. But it doesn't mean that human beings have them. I get what I'm saying.
Right.
The mere fact that a disease exists does not mean that the particular tilapia we have in Ghana has that kind of disease. No, that is not the meaning.
Right.
The meaning is that it is known that 15 diseases can be contracted from human beings, from fish or tilapia to human beings.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the tilapia has that disease, no.
Right. Let's find out. The 16 that we're talking about, does it include what perhaps is referred to as a deadly fresh tilapia bacteria?
I said that one. I don't want to talk about it because that one has nothing to do with relating to Ghana.
Exactly. I'm only asking about the fact that...
it's included. Yeah.
So
Vibrio vulgaris is part of it, but it doesn't mean that it is here in Ghana, no.
We're not talking about the fact that it is here in Ghana. How deadly is a deadly fresh tilapia bacteria?
You see, you are still pushing me into an area I said I don't want to go.
I want us, Dr. Kikimoto, I want us to discuss the 16 diseases that you talk about. One of them is a deadly
I told
fresh...
you that one of them is salmonella.
Right, and the other is a deadly fresh tilapia bacteria.
Oh, it is just among them. But it doesn't mean that it is the one we are talking about. It's just one of the diseases.
Right. Let's look at these diseases that humans can get from fish. How deadly are they?
Oh, normally, don't forget that most of the bacteria that we have, sometimes they produce toxins, poisons, I can say toxins. And so these toxins are toxigenic. So some of them, they actually either lyse the red blood cells of human beings or they go into the nervous system. They say that some of them are also cancerogenic. So it all depends on the type of poisons that are secreted by the virus bacteria. I can say. Right.
Now, in terms of trying to find out if a particular strain of bacteria is available in a particular environment, what does it take to do? How long will it take to be able to identify that a particular strain of bacteria is available in a certain environment?
Now, it all depends. You see, in science or in laboratory, or even generally disease diagnosis, what you have to understand is that every disease, you have the etiological agent,
right?
That is the agent that causes the disease. Then you also have the way the disease or the bacteria progresses to cause the disease. That is the one we call pathogenesis.
Right, go ahead.
We also have the way it has to be diagnosed, and the way it has to be controlled, and the way it has to be prevented. So every disease has these classifications that you are dealing about. So it depends on the type of disease that you are dealing with, that you can talk about the length of time. I know what I'm saying. For example, if you have brucellosis, which is not something that is related to tilapia, it takes about 14 days to diagnose it in the laboratory. I get what I'm saying.
Right.
So it all depends on which type of disease that you are talking about and the pathogenesis. There are some of the bacteria which are intracellular. They live inside the cells, the red blood cells. They are not extracellular. You see what I'm saying? So when it is like that, it takes time for you even to get it, because it has to get traces of gamma, alpha, and all those inside the serum that you have to take. So sometimes it depends on what you're actually dealing with. Right. It depends on what you're dealing with.
How careful should a Ghanaian be in patronizing fish products to stay away from these diseases that you're talking about?
Ghanaians should not stay away from anything. What I'm telling you about, these are general diseases we have all learned. But it has nothing to do with what is happening somewhere, somewhere. You see what I'm saying? So Ghanaians should be rest assured that so far as veterinary public health or Ghana is concerned, we don't think that we have any diseases that people should be afraid to eat tilapia or anything. No. No.
I did not mention tilapia. I was asking if how careful we should be in getting closer to fish, especially since it is it forms a very large source of protein for the Ghanaian family.
You are very right. But you see, we should not panic over things we are not supposed to panic. You see, you, the journalists, are supposed to help let people know that whatever is happening, you have to brief them to know. But as I was saying, in this particular case that you are talking about, we have not got hint of any disease that is in Ghana here, because we have known. So I think that the best I can tell you is that Ghanaian tilapia and fish are safe to be eaten.
Exactly, but in situations where we are being asked, our ministries are being asked to take note of a particular danger, you don't think that we should be on the alert?
I don't know who has asked those ministries to do that. Unless you tell me who asked the ministries to be alert.
It's the national security asking the ministries.
Yes, you see. You journalists, you always go there, you come back the same thing. This is something I say I don't want to comment on. I'm commenting generally on the science that I know. So let's assure you that let's talk about our Ghanaian situation.
And go ahead. Dr. Kimuto, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I said let's talk about the Ghanaian situation as we have discussed. I would not like us to discuss confidential matters because that is not part of our work.
Right. And
that one is for the national, for a higher level. It's not for you and me.
And for instance, if you mention that these diseases, humans can get these diseases, and how should we, at least we have that notice that there is some danger somewhere. You still don't think that for public education purposes, we should be careful about the way we come or get closer to what we're talking about?
No, we will not get closer to that because almost every day we take samples, we diagnose the various type of diseases that they have, and then we also try to report. So maybe we can also report something here to the World Health Organization or the World Animal Health Organization, the OIE, and the FAO. That does not mean that if we are living in a global world, and because of one health concept, anything that is happening anywhere, the Global Veterinary Public Health Association our community. They send messages around for all of us. But that is only for us to know so that we can also scientifically be doing our work. It is not something for us to create panic in the society. No, that is not the essence of why they send out the information.
And finally, before I let you go, now you think that we should not panic, but we should stay careful. Now, you wouldn't want to talk about this issue of the tilapia, the deadly fresh tilapia bacteria. You said it's just one of the diseases among 16 that you know affect or can affect humans.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned 2. Are the other 14 also dangerous as you have described these 2?
Yeah, I didn't get the last part.
I'm asking, you mentioned 2 out of 16, and I'm asking if the other 15, I'm asking if the other 13 are as dangerous as you are describing these 2.
You see, almost what we are talking about is that there are diseases that can be transferred from animals, from fish to humans. And they can lead to either some disability or death or something. But it all depends on the strain of bacteria or virus that we are dealing with. I get what I'm saying. So it's the strain that will determine, the danger of what you are talking about. Because you are talking about danger. I would not call it like that because it depends on the particular strain that you are dealing with.
And so we should be assured.
As I was telling you, some of them are hemolytic in nature, some of them are neuroleptic in nature, some of them are generally debilitating in nature. So it all depends on what you are dealing with. I get what I'm saying.
Right, Dr. Bashiru Boakikimoto, thanks so much for speaking to me there. At a national security issuing a health warning of deadly fresh tilapia bacteria, which can be found in Ghana if preventive measures are not put in place. The letter, which was addressed to the Health, the Food and Agriculture and the Environment Ministries, details the effect that the bacteria would have if found in humans. The poisonous bacteria, we are told, was detected in Israel in October and can also be found in fish pond water. Now, symptoms include high fever, significant swelling of the area of infection, and blood-filled blisters that can lead to the amputation of the infected person's limb. We'll tell you more about this soon on the subsequent bulletins. But time now to get interactive. We're getting to the other segment of today's big story. Thanks so much for staying there. And Marian is joining me very soon, and we'll begin getting interactive with you on today's big story. Stay there. I'm coming back in a moment. Welcome back to today's big story. And I'm sure if you live in any of the cities and towns where you have street lights and it is past 6 p.m. and the lights are down and the streets are dark, you certainly get worried. But don't get too worried. The police is doing something. Lady Marian has just joined you. Welcome.
Thank you.
The police is aiming at trying to find a solution to this problem.
Yes. But that was after President Mahama lamented the issue that, especially on the NY highway, which is just, it was opened barely
a year
or so ago. Yes.
Yeah.
And then suddenly all the street lights are gone. You're driving past in the afternoon and you see people up there. And perhaps you're thinking that they're working on the street lights. But you will never know that.
President Mahama should not be worried about the N1 highway at all. I use the only road to the nation's only teaching hospital, the Kolebu Hospital.
Yes.
And if you use that road, popularly called the mortuary road,
it's scary.
You'll be scared.
It is scary, and knowing that there's a morgue close by, you'll be thinking that perhaps some of the corpses will get up and then come and chase you. I've driven there at night before, and it was eerie. It was a very, very eerie experience. And so I don't go past there after 6 p.m.
And the police want to save the situation?
They want to save the situation, so they're offering 10,000 Ghana cedis for anyone who has any information that would lead to the arrest of the gang, they call it, because they're thinking that it can't be one person doing all of this. Right. It has to be a syndicate. It has to be a group of people.
Actually stealing the bulbs and and certain items used in getting the bulb on.
Exactly. But I'm wondering where they go and sell all of these things. If you're thinking someone is coming to sell something to you piecemeal, and they're not importing anything into the country, then they should raise some red flags.
I see.
So the police are saying, hey, Ghanaians, this is it. Help us find these people.
10,000 cedis?
10,000 Ghana cedis.
I'll be looking out for the guys.
100 million Ghana cedis.
I'll be looking out for the guys.
Capital for somebody.
Welcome, Mariam.
Thank you so much. Let's get interactive. My name is Mariam Toure. So welcome to JN Interactive. If you're just joining out, you just missed out on the juice, but the juice is that the police is offering 10,000 Ghana cedi reward for anyone who has information on the, I don't know what we call it, the streetlight, thieves or streetlight robbers. So if you have any news, please get in touch with the police. I'd like to announce all the social media tools that you need to get in touch with the show. You would find us on facebook.com/joynews-on-TV. Like our page, comment on all the posts we put there, and we will share your comments with the rest of the world. If you're sending us a tweet, our handle is @joynews-on-TV. That is where we tweet at, and use a hashtag JNInteractiveGH so that we'll be able to sort all your tweets out and take them all at once. Email joynewsim@multitvworld.com, and our WhatsApp number is 0260518801, and I am on Twitter too. I tweet at MNToure. And as you already know, this is where tech meets news to set the agenda. And so it is trending, so we're also talking about it. And I like to point you to all the stories that we're talking about right now. And this one, you will find it on myjoyonline.com. And it says, the headline says, police announce 10,000 Ghana cedi reward for information on streetlight thieves. And the details are below. The same story, you will find it also on City FM, and there the headline is that 10,000 Ghana cedi bounty for streetlight thieves, and it is saying that the Greater Accra Police Command has put a 10,000 Ghana cedi bounty on the heads of criminals behind the theft of streetlights in the nation's capital. And President Mahama last week told Ghanaians to show their patriotism by reporting cases of criminality which negatively affects the country. And according to the police administration, thieves have vandalized the newly installed streetlights in Accra and stolen power cables and cubicle components in the pole on the N1 highway. And we all know about this. At least if you don't know about it, then you have heard it here, and it won't be the first. Things are happening. So what Freeman Tete, who is the police PRO, is saying is that, look, we are going to put 10,000 Ghana cedi out there, and we're hoping that you will help us find these people, because we spend over 400,000 Ghana cedis to replace the street lights alone. And so if we're going to spend 10,000 cedis to grab the syndicate behind this, then what is the big deal? They're willing to put it up. If you're also willing to let us know who is doing just that. And you know what we do here on JN Interactive. We sample your views and we ask you what you think about all of this. So we're asking you 10,000 Ghana cedis, bounty on the heads of these people. Is it even appropriate? Is this approach the most appropriate for this kind of thing? So let's go and take our first video blog, and we are calling it the Streetlights Whistleblower. So is this the right approach? We'll take our first video blog.
If you live in without rewarding, somebody can say you just leave it. He will not mind, because there's nothing that he will benefit from reporting. But if he knows that he will get some money from it, so he will surely do it. And those people who do it, they will stop.
As a good citizen, have to let the people know what is right to do. Yeah. So when you see an armed robber stealing a street light, you let the police. You draw attention to the police.
I'm a citizen. This police near around that. Says me my police are sorted. Ne my call report to I'm a police. Ne se car no my crowd nani or committee crime. Says me to me tracing who be a. If some me come police information says me who say be a wo what ha and our car yes sir car number says me take those information me feed the police.
Welcome back. We'll take some comments that are trending at this moment. And on Facebook, we have put everything there. The precursor, the police administration is offering 10,000 Ghana Cedi reward for any person who can provide information leading to the arrest of the streetlight thieves. And we're asking, is this the right approach? What would you do if you witnessed a crime? And is it about time our highways are fitted with CCTVs? And these are closed-circuit televisions. That's what they are. And 51 comments have dropped in so far in the last 12 minutes. Thank you so much for all the comments that have been coming through. Gilbert from Bolgatanga says, to me, I think it's a laudable idea because this would help motivate individuals who are often witnesses to these crimes on the N1 highway and others across the country. But as to whether this amount would be given out as indicated, only God knows. I don't think the police would have you on. They would, lie to you like that, right? If they don't give it to you, I'm sure the media is there. You would come to us and we would let everybody know, especially when whatever tip-off you gave has led to them capturing the syndicate. Then they have to give it to you. After all, we are witnesses. So why not? Go ahead. If you can, if you know anybody, go ahead and let them know. And we'll be here to back you up if things go awry. Kennedy Asare Bequin says, will the police give the money out? I think it's not the right approach. The right thing to be done is we should place CCTV cameras on our roads. Mutala Gomda says, this kind of social vices needs to be halted. We have to be our own watchdogs and report any suspicious acts to the appropriate quarters for redress. Technology is now booming and we need to also take advantage of it and initiate ourselves to the technological world. Our streets need CCTV cameras to curb this evil and retrogressive behavior in our society, not only stealing, but to also curb the numerous traffic offences on our street. Culprits who are found guilty should be dealt with appropriately to serve as a deterrent to other miscreants. Ghana needs to work and all hands need to be on board. Let's open our eyes wide and be vigilant in our neighborhoods to help the security personnel put an end to this ill-mannered behavior. Come to think of it, why don't they invest the monies directly into purchasing the CCTV cameras? I don't know which money. Perhaps that's a 10,000 Ghana Cedi bounty that they're talking about. You want them to invest it? I'm sure that wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Salam, Joyce, Akusia, they should use that money to buy new street lights. But that certainly won't be enough. The amount of damage that has been done, I don't think the 10,000 CDs will help. But if you're willing to say, okay, I have information, but I would offer the police that information for free, and I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that. You would voluntarily give up that money and say, hey, I have given you a tip-off, you have arrested those people who are responsible, but I am also giving you the 10,000 CDs back so you can invest it into more lighting. Then that is a noble gesture. Indeed, Newton Jeffords, it is the step in the right direction. People must report wrongdoing without fear. As for those who stole the street lights, I don't blame them so much because they don't have jobs and need to eat. As for CCTVs, I don't think our current economy situation can help afford it. Gilbert says, and you're sending this in from Bolgatanga, CCTV cameras on the highway would be of good help, though it would not be at all easy. Let's all serve as watchdogs to arrest this worrying issue in our country. Baba Musa Tamale, I think that our own attitude as Ghanaians sometimes do not help expose some of these criminal activities in our societies. How many Ghanaians are ready or have time to stop by the roadside to find out what a supposed electrician is doing on the street light poles during the daytime? The general attitude and attention of many Ghanaians towards public goods in the country is nothing to write home about. Many people view public goods as goods which belong to nobody, and so they do not care about how it's being used or exploited. Apart from the stealing of these light cables and street light lamps and bulbs, many of the wood electricity poles in the areas are usually burnt down by bushfires whilst people watch on. And that brings me to a very, very interesting thing. Our attitude to things like that. I don't know, we don't pay attention to all of those things. And I think I am even a culprit. If you ask me within a day to, even on this fan of a street, that I may have seen somebody twice to even describe them, I won't be. And I think it's not, you won't blame me. It's just a societal thing. But in the West, you will pay attention to so many things. So perhaps we need a mental shift to say that we're paying more attention. But the fear also comes in that when you're going to even ask that person a question, you may be confronted with something that you don't want. They may abuse you, they will use foul language on you, and so if you don't want to listen to any foul language, you just ignore them and then you move on. So hey, I mean, you can't blame us too much, can you? But we'll to go and then take our second video blog. In our second video blog, we're asking, what would you do if you witnessed a crime? What would you do? Would you, just like I was saying, would you call it in? Would you ask them to stop? What would you do? Let's take our next video blog.
If somebody committed a crime, I witnessed, then I have to report to the police. Because if I leave it will affect the country. It will continue the corruption, it will not stop. So when I report, if they arrest him, another fellow will not do it again.
I will let the police know that there is a crime going on at some place. I'll call the police.
We will say will be a government idea. That's why I say be a police discard towards my mouse. Maybe I can win here. You say straight, you will report to my police. One. Until a good citizen say my corner will be a far government idea, and now will be a fair government idea. And maybe at the police way, one car will use in a rougher. So appropriate press make my report, Mama. And yes, cantine mediatory.
Welcome back. I'll take some more comments that are coming in, and this comment is a very funny one. Bruce Anaba says, there are no thieves. The government refused to award contracts to fix street lights to companies after the pilot. So they go back to take back the lights they have fixed for the piloting. So you were saying that nobody has stolen anything. Government just didn't pay them, and so they went back and took their own lights. But at least they should inform us and say, hey, this is the thing, we've gone back to take our own lights. Nobody has stolen them. Don't I just love my viewers? Abuaji Frank says, it's a pity we live in a country where some citizens only think of enriching themselves at the expense of the state. This is a very bold step by the police administration. Bonaventure says the police should investigate and arrest those criminals themselves and stop making noise. We are tired of the noise making. We want action, not words. Charity says, hey, only in Ghana. Ghana they be. Joaquin says, I support the idea and pray those who have information about the street light thieves will contact the police so such bad nuts who are putting our cities in darkness can be brought to book. God knows, Billy, if only the money is there to pay the informants, but some of the informants too are the thieves. Because of that huge amount, they will lie. Wow. But then I doubt that the police will just give them the money. It has to be verified. The veracity of your claim has to be proven to say that, okay, we have actually arrested them, we have the cables, we have some things on them, then yes. And so if the thieves themselves are going to snitch on each other, bravo, right? Perhaps they didn't get their money, so they're snitching, and then the syndicate would have been caught. So I'm sure it's a good idea. Junior says, I am Anas Junior. Just record and send you guys a video blog. I'm good at that. Okay, Anas Junior, I am waiting. You have our WhatsApp number, so send us a video blog. Saeed Farouk sending this from Wa, and you were saying the recent admission by Rosebio Atinga that criminals have found their way into the police service is a wake-up call to the police administration to stop the practice of recruiting relatives of senior officials, because when one realizes the ward or relative is a criminal, they quickly recruit the person into the service, thinking it will stop, but which only gets worse. Also, the Go Come Act of the police, when law-abiding report cases to them, is not helping at all. So what you're thinking is that, okay, even when we go and report it to them, they won't do anything. They would ask us to go and come, you know, they will log it and say, bureaucracy, too much bureaucracy. So you won't even go and do it at all. I'll take my final comment before we go and take our last video blog. And this one is coming from Majid Awudu Gushegu. Marian, it is interesting. I think they should use that money to employ people to be watchmen of that. That's not bad. And perhaps it's about time we got highway patrols, because, you know, sometimes some places in the West, United Kingdom, US, you find police patrolmen on the highways. That is their job, and they run in shifts. So let's say for every 2 or 3 miles, there'll be one police patrol member who would go one end at one point every half hour, ply that route by another end. And so when people see them, you know, they'll be able to, you know, report and say, hey, this is it. So perhaps we need highway patrol teams. But in our last video blog, we are asking you, should our highways have CCTVs? Is it about time? 21st century, 2013. Hey, come on. Let's take our last video blog.
If you put a security alert, so if the person decided to do it, you know that there is a security alert, it will catch him, so he will not do it. But when we leave it like that, maybe in the night he can come and do it. But if there is a security alert, even in the night, it can catch him then.
It will help the police to do everything according to to do everything according. Yeah, they will get witness faster.
Yeah, baby, just even bank, I did be a boy. A man for still a man for you. Timid, come around there. Yes, say modern word in their brochure 1 eye, but say I had black man before we mean, I say camera. One, it's a street to be a bohua, and I do what say. If say be a honor will prate to a camera or what, till do a walk can hear, but I won't hear.
Welcome back. So Grandpa thinks the camera it's not necessary at all, because they will do it either way. But it's also whether or not these cameras are going to function, because they may be there and they're dummies. There's no transmission point where you're going to even pick the feed anyway. And so if we're going to do it, we ought to go all out and do it. I'll take some more of your comments before Brighton joins me so we can wrap up together. Frimpong Holy John from Ifijayase says, I think Ghana should grow above this. Why don't we fix CCTV machines to enhance technology? I think the police should take this job on their chest to protect state property. Gala Kenji, if they were security conscious, such a thing wouldn't have happened. All they are interested in is standing by the roadside, taking bribes. They can, as well as patrolling the communities to make sure that lives and properties are protected. Isa, the police should stop this and work. Morrison, I am the one, and I report myself. Would they give me that money? Ghana Brepa. Okay, Morris, if you are the one, don't report yourself. Let me take you, okay? So when I take you there, who knows? When we get the money, I'll give you some. Ahmed Baba says, yes, it is a move in the right direction. But as for me, if I see a fellow Ghanaian destroying the nation's property, I'll report him or her to the appropriate quarters for the right punishment to be administered to him or her. Osonobana Nakufi the first, don't trust the police. Anytime you volunteer information to them, they betray you, putting your life in danger. They should rather use that money to fix the cameras there. Isahaku says, I want the money. Do you have the people? Gizman, Emmanuelson, oh, why? What happened to the CCTV cameras that Kufuor's government installed throughout the city at sensitive locations? I'm sure there was some wisdom in that after all. Kwame Appiah, no crime happens under light. If they really mean to combat this crime, then the light should always be on at night. Use the money to stop doomsaw. Jonathan, reducing from the comments in here, I am tempted to say, deducing. I am tempted to say some people are, come on, how can you support this act? I don't need the police money to do the right thing. He who knows good and does not do it. Okay, Ruben says it's a very good move, but if they are stealing the street lights, what shows they can steal the what shows they cannot steal the CCTV cameras too? What does the patrol team at night when they are needed? The money should be kept and used to replace some of them. We all should be vigilant to save our nation. One more. Wow, God save us from this. And I'll take my final comment. And this one is coming from Billy. If only the money is there to pay the informant, but some of the informants too are the thieves because of that huge amount. They will try to lure innocent people into it and betray the friends by informing police just for them to get the money at all. Well, but that I'm sure that is good, right? If you're snitching on your own friends who stole the thing just to get the money and the police are going to catch them, then I'm all for it. This is where we end it for today. But time for this back so we can wrap up.
Right, so the police giving you 10,000 cedis to report those who are stealing the lights there. Just go ahead and report those guys to the police. But
what it reminds me of?
They
are stealers.
Right. We'll also tell you at 8 o'clock, Ghana's parliament is to benefit from a $2.9 million over 5 years in support from Star Ghana, a multi-donor organization. The amount is meant to facilitate the work of 10 select committees of the House, as well as foster relations between civil society organizations and Parliament in the performance of their oversight responsibilities. Israel I will tell you more at 8 o'clock.
And also expected in news at 8 today, constructed as a place where children especially would have fun in a safe environment. Therefore, Sutherland Children's Park in Accra is far from achieving that purpose. What remains of the once attractive facility for children is an eyesore. Management has, however, hinted there are plans to refurbish it.
Right, so join us for these and more at 8 o'clock. But we'll have Joy News Exclusive coming up right after this. Thanks so much for staying there. My name is Bright Nana Amfo.
And I am Marion Toure. Have a really, really fabulous weekend.
See you.